What was meant to be a triumphant conclusion to one of cycling's most prestigious events descended into unprecedented chaos on a Sunday in Madrid. The final stage of the 2025 La Vuelta Ciclista a España, a race steeped in decades of tradition, was scheduled to culminate in the heart of the Spanish capital. Instead, the city's streets became the backdrop for a massive pro-Palestinian demonstration that completely overshadowed the sporting spectacle. The planned celebratory laps for the weary athletes who had endured 3 weeks of grueling competition were replaced by scenes of public unrest and a heavy police presence, fundamentally altering the narrative of the day from one of athletic achievement to one of political collision. The scale of the protest was staggering, catching both race organizers and city officials by surprise with its sheer size and intensity. Spanish authorities estimated well over 100,000 people had converged on the city center, transforming the designated race route into a sea of banners and flags calling for justice in Palestine. This demonstration was not a peripheral event. It was a powerful and organized movement that directly intersected with the Vuelta's path. The energy of the crowd, initially peaceful, grew more volatile as the day progressed, making it clear that the cycling finale and the political protest could not coexist in the same space, setting the stage for an inevitable and historic confrontation. As tensions mounted, the situation escalated dramatically. The cancellation of the final stage in Madrid was the explosive climax to a pattern of sustained disruption that had plagued the 2025 Vuelta for over a week. This was not an isolated incident, but the culmination of a targeted campaign. According to official reports, at least 6 of the final 10 stages were significantly impacted by demonstrations. Protesters specifically targeting the Israel Premier Tech cycling team over the conflict in Gaza. They employed various tactics to interrupt the race, blocking roads, staging sit-ins along the route. These repeated incidents created constant uncertainty and logistical nightmares for organizers. Organizers were forced to shorten stages on the fly. Organizers were forced to reroute stages on the fly, compromising the integrity of the competition. The human cost extended beyond logistical challenges. Reports of injuries, reports of arrests. Spanish media confirmed Madrid clashes left approximately 20 people injured. Demonstrators and police confronted one another. The use of tear gas by law enforcement underscored the seriousness. Authorities detained more than 20 individuals across protests. Impact on athletes. Impact on spectators, impact on law enforcement. Ultimately, the sustained protests and final cancellation inflicted deep damage on La Vuelta's reputation, but of conflict and disorder. In the aftermath of the chaotic finale, the governing body of world cycling, the Union Cycliste Internationale, or UCI, issued a swift and exceptionally harsh condemnation. In a strongly worded public statement, the organization expressed total disapproval and deep concern. The UCI directly linked the halt to pro-Palestinian demonstrations. This was an unprecedented rebuke of a host nation of a grand tour, signaling a major crisis with Spanish sporting authorities. The UCI's tone made clear consequences would extend beyond one race. It questioned Spain's competence to host major international sporting events. The statement highlighted a failure to provide a safe and secure environment for athletes. By allowing escalation to cancellation, Spanish organizers failed a critical test. It cast a dark shadow over Barcelona's 2026 Grand Depart. Over international sporting commitments. If you're finding this coverage insightful, don't forget to subscribe and share this video for more updates on global sports and politics. Adding a highly controversial layer to the crisis, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez issued a statement that appeared to validate the actions of the protesters. Instead of condemning the disruption, Sánchez chose to express admiration for the demonstrators' cause. He started off by saying, "Our respect and recognition is for the athletes," and then went on to add, "and our admiration for the Spanish people who are mobilizing for just causes like Palestine." This declaration was a significant political maneuver, aligning his government with the sentiment on the streets of Madrid. However, by seemingly prioritizing the just cause of the protest over the sanctity of an international sporting event, he ignited a political firestorm both at home and abroad. The Prime Minister's comments immediately triggered a diplomatic incident, drawing a furious response from Israel. The Israeli foreign minister publicly labeled the Spanish government a disgrace, accusing it of creating an environment where an Israeli-linked team could be targeted and a major international event sabotaged. This sharp diplomatic rebuke strained relations between the two countries, transforming a domestic issue of protest management into a serious international dispute. Sanchez's words were interpreted not merely as support for a cause, but as an implicit endorsement of the disruptive methods used, which directly impacted Israeli interests through the targeting of the Israel Premier tech team. Domestically, Sanchez's position exposed deep divisions within Spain's political landscape. While his statement resonated with his left-leaning voter base, this complex situation placed the Spanish government in an incredibly difficult position. The confluence of the protest, the race cancellation, and the political fallout has left Spain at a critical juncture with significant implications for its future in international sports. The immediate takeaway is the severe damage to the country's reputation as a dependable host. For decades, Spain has been a go-to nation World Championships Grand Tours Olympic bids. The events of the 2025 Vuelta have shattered that image of reliability. International federations, sponsors, organizing committees will now view Spain with a new degree of skepticism, demanding more robust security guarantees, potentially adding risk premiums to any future contracts. The economic impact could be substantial. The incident forces a necessary, albeit difficult, national conversation about the balance between the right to protest the commitment to host secure international events. The immediate test will be the 2026 Tour de France Grand Depart in Barcelona. How Spain manages the security and logistics for that event will be scrutinized globally. In conclusion, the day the Vuelta finale was abandoned was more than just a bad day for cycling. It was a defining moment for Spain's role on the world stage. The world is now watching to see which path it will choose. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and follow us for more in-depth analysis on world events.